This podcast is created and recorded on Wurundjeri land. I pay my respects to elders past and present and to all First Nations people listening today. Always was, always will be, Aboriginal land. Don't say that. Wait, what? Don't say that. Scene. Don't say that. Scene. Don't say that. Scene right now. Take me home. Oh. Have you ever been in a social situation where you kind of just feel exhausted afterwards and you're kind of like, oh, this feels like a little bit forced. It felt uncomfortable and I can't really pinpoint why, but I'm really tired. Welcome to masking. We all do it, you know, and also welcome to Don't Say That. This is my new podcast. I'm your host, Emma Horn, and it's kind of all about finding the unedited version of ourselves and being okay with it. Anyway, a little bit about me to kind of kick off the whole show is that I am a Scorpio. My big three is Scorpio, Leo, Moon. Am I Leo, Moon? No, I'm a Leo rising, I'm a Capricorn Moon, which I'm not a fan of. And I have ADHD. I'm gay. What else? I'm a woman. So yeah, those are some fun facts about me. I have 4 sisters and I thought I had just chronic anxiety my whole life. Turns out I'm neurodivergent and that's been an incredible revelation for me. And honestly, it kind of goes hand in hand with me not becoming queer. I've been queer my whole life, but figuring out that I was queer. And a lot of people ask me, how do I know I'm masking? Like, how did you come to that realization? Or like, you always seem so confident, Emma, like you show up online in this specific way. Obviously, I'm a content creator. I don't know why I said obviously. Do I look like one or sound like one? I'm a content creator and an actor. So like, well, to me, I feel like that having those as my 2 full-time jobs kind of explains everything. I'm able to mask heavily as an actor and kind of be whoever I want to be in that moment. And with social media, it's really helped me uncover the unmasked version of myself. Even though it's still curated, it's really helped. It's been an incredible journey for me to like express myself. And yes, whilst I have discovered a lot about who I am, it hasn't been easy. And people see this like version of me, especially online. They're like, wow, you're so confident and like fun. And like, I always get like, you're so authentic and everything. But the reality is, it's taken like so much to get to that point and so much of like getting to know myself and spending a lot of alone time. Like, girl, I'm single as hell. And like, I live alone. I probably shouldn't say that, but I do. I live alone. I've been single for years. I've been single for like, well, I have. It's like been a year and a half now. And I also spent a lot of my life single. Like, I'll get into it soon because I really want to talk about my journey of like figuring out how much I have masked my whole life and what that kind of did to my like individuality, I think. I want to say like the term unmasking is, you know, personal to neurodivergent people, neurodiverse people. God, I really hate that it's such a hard word to say. I wish it was, maybe I'll just say ND. Kind of sounds weird though. For us, it's to unmask is sort of a liberation from mainstream expectations of behavior. Like that's what it is. And I think obviously neurotypical people can definitely relate to that as well, but I think it holds a bit more weight for autistic people, ADHD people, just because of how difficult it can be for us to be ourselves and be accepted because we don't fit into that little social norm cool box. If I don't really think it's that cool, but I think we're pretty cool and magical. And honestly, the most interesting people I know are like neurodiverse or queer or just like weird. Why wouldn't you want to be weird in this life? But I get it. You get discriminated against. So I completely get it. But yeah, I guess I'll just go into my life and kind of like talk about my like on it, like how my sexuality came into it as well and how I think that just so much of us gets like shoved down when we are taught to minimize ourselves to be accepted. And that starts all the way from when we're babies. I was thinking about my childhood. Like, school for me was horrible. Like, I mean, in terms of making friends, like, I didn't struggle as a little kid to, that's a bit, actually, you know what? My mom's going to listen and be like, Emma, you, like, I remember being in preschool, they wanted to hold me back a year, which I always like hold against my mom because I'm like, why didn't you just hold me back? Like, I graduated when I was 16. Like, I turned 17 like the day after. But that's crazy. There are like almost 19-year-olds in like other states graduating and I was 16. Like, come on, that's stupid. Alas, I went to school and my mom told me that for 6 months of the year, like when I would first start school, I would be like, well, now I would see it as having a meltdown every single day. But she's like, they would have to tear you off me and you'd be crying and bawling your eyes out and you didn't want to go to school. And I don't like remember that like like mentally. I remember it in my body. Like, that's kind of sad, but I do. I was diagnosed with generalized anxiety at like 18, but now I know it does go hand in hand with my ADHD. God, there's so many labels, but yeah, I remember it in my body. It was the anxiety. And like as a kid, that wasn't really, it wasn't addressed at all. It was kind of like I was labeled a little bit difficult and really shy and just no one really knew what I was doing or feeling. Like I would just cry like crazy all the time. And people would ask me what was wrong, but I could never pinpoint it. Like I didn't know what it was. And I think in social situations, I learned really early that I had to escape them. Like I needed to either be quiet or kind of escape them in some way. So I learned to lie. Like I learned to make up stories in order to get myself out of specific situations. Like I remember going to sleepovers, and if I didn't like the food that they had, I would make up a lie and say that I was really, really sick and I needed to go home. And I think it's these little things because I knew, like, I didn't really have a safe, like, it's hard to say this because I love my mom so much and like she was my safe space. Like she really, really was. But obviously like back in the, you know, like late 90s, the early 2000s when this was all happening, like I didn't have a safe space and no one knew what was going on. I just was, you know, labeled a shy, weird kid. But for me, that was really, really hard. And that kind of went on all through like schooling. And I think growing up around so many siblings and also a narcissistic parent, not my mom, bless you, mom, love you so much. You kind of learn to put other people's feelings before your own, and you learn to be very, very hyper vigilant. And again, it's all about, like, I fully just learned how everyone else was feeling, and that is what I based my decisions around. And that is such a hard thing to unlearn as you become an adult. And I think I'm wondering if people listening right now are being like, holy shit, like I encourage you to like think back to times when you're a kid, like if you relate to this, if you don't, just like listen. But yeah, like situations that stick out to you as a kid where you may have kind of preempted like someone else's response, and that's what you base your, like, obviously we all do that, but it depends how frequently you're doing it and how much it's impacting your life. For me and like my siblings, I know it impacted our life like greatly, and we've all kind of developed these, like, I say wonderful personalities because of it, but also, you know, there's a lot of struggles and difficulties that come with, you know, some form of dysfunction. Then I got into high school and I was like, oh, okay, cool. It's even worse now because for some reason I didn't like make friends in high school. I couldn't hold down like a friendship group, and I still question it, but then I'm like thinking about it now and I'm like, oh yeah, it's because I was gay as shit, and like they all were like talking about like boys and stuff that for me I was not ready for. Well, I thought I wasn't ready for it, but it was mostly just I was like, I'd like to kiss a girl, and none of you, well, actually a lot of girls in high school did want to kiss. My first wait, was my first kiss a girl? I don't even know. Well, my first kiss was like my best friend in primary school, but like that doesn't really count. But it kind of does. For me, it does. Anyway, I remember like one friend in high school, we made a pact that we would like kiss at our formal after party. And I think I actually look back now and I'm like, oh, I think I definitely had a crush on her. We were like really good friends. And I think I did, like when I think back, I'm like, oh, like I totally liked her. I just said her name. Her name's Lily. Love you, Lil. Yeah. So high school was kind of rough for me. I'd eat lunch in the toilets alone. Me and my sister actually, I remember like when we went to this new school, we like met up in the costume room. I don't know why we're in the costume room. And we were just, oh no, we're in the toilets. Wait, I'm confused. And we were just crying, being like, we hate it here. We grew up quite rural, like in the bush, like small town kind of vibes. We were always dancers, so we were kind of exposed to like outside communities and like people, and we weren't sheltered kids at all, but we were like bush kids as well. So like going to this like school on the coast when we moved to this new school was like, I don't know, the kids there were just, they seemed a lot older and we were kind of like, what is happening? Anyway, basically I figured out like my anxiety, had always been labeled anxiety, and like little did I know I was actually struggling with executive dysfunction when I look back, which if you don't know what that is, it's basically struggling to do basic tasks. Like, well, we just need executive function to literally function. Like right now I'll spend like on my second day period right now. So next week I'll probably like have a bit of a burnout time, and I might spend like, usually when I'm in exec dysfunk, I'll be like in on my bathroom floor trying to make myself have a shower, and it's very, very difficult and hard, and I just want to cry, and usually I do cry. Anyways, went through high school. I was like, oh cool, no one likes me. Also went through puberty really late. It was just honestly like I just feel like I was dealt this like, I just feel like it was obvious though, and I don't know why I didn't notice that. Like, okay, I was gay, obviously. Like I was gay and I tried to date boys, but it just didn't work. I didn't want anyone to come near me, and they didn't. Like I fully didn't, I was not sexually active until I was in my early 20s. And I have lied about that multiple times. And I think I've said this on another podcast, but I've lied about that. Fucking hell. Like the way I was so ashamed of myself for so long is crazy to me. Like I think back at it, yeah. And I still do, like I'm hoping I don't do it anymore. There's just so much that it's so hard to unlearn when you've spent so many years doing it. After high school, I was like, I still didn't know I was gay. I was still like questioning everything. I couldn't make friends. I didn't really know like why I just didn't fit in. Anyway, not like a year or so after, I'm going to skip a couple of things, but I went to Sydney and studied acting because I was a dancer my whole life. Like I was always in the arts. I love performing, which that's such a common thing for us brain freaks, because we get to pretend to be someone else. But I studied acting, and that to me was kind of the first time that I had found community, like full stop. I think I found people that I really related to. I wasn't trying to be cool. Like in high school, I really just wanted to be cool. Like I really, really did. And at drama school, I didn't. I was like, these people kind of like me, just like I was cool inherently without even trying. Wow. And it kind of felt like a do-over for high school, I guess. And I just I don't know. It was like when I fell into this environment where people kind of got me, I stopped masking in this way. Like I just let more of Emma come out, and I found this confidence that I think I had as a kid. Because if you ask my like best friends that I still have now what I was like as a kid, they would say you were bossy and I would do whatever you told me. Like I was, I don't know if that's like a leader or like a dictator. No, I was definitely like, I had leadership skills for sure. But I also, I don't really know. I was very like, I wanted to be quite social. Like I remember the teachers on my report cards, they would always say, she talks too much, but she's got great group skills. And I think I just needed to find the right environment. Anyway, so I was in drama school and that was really great. It also opened my eyes to like a lot of different type of people and ways of thinking, which then bled into figuring out that I was queer. I labeled myself as bi first, which I shouldn't have done, like, because I knew I wasn't bi, because I was like, Emma, you don't ever want, you hate, like, you literally hate boys and men. Like, okay, I went on a date once with this guy. I'm not kidding. He picked me up and he took me to his weird, he took me to his like family restaurant. And I'm not kidding. He did not order anything. He just sat there and watched me eat. No, did he? I reckon he had a fetish. I'm dead set he had a fetish. He had a fetish. He's probably listening right now. What if he stalks me? What if he's still in love with me? That was like 10 years ago. So yeah, I knew I love the term queer because I just feel like it encapsulates so much more than that sexuality, you know what I mean? I keep saying that. It's really fun to do an accent. Also, apparently that's not normal either. I've realized that I know a lot of neurotypical people who do not break out into song or accents because people like they pick up on it. When I go home to Queensland, they go, what are you doing? Like, oh my God, you just sang that. That's so funny. And I'm like, wait, what? Like, you don't do that. Anyway, where was I? Oh yeah, I found that I was gay, which was really great. Anyway, there's a point to all of this, just so you know. I ended up getting into like my first relationship after that. I then started working like professionally as an actor. Right before that, in like around 2020, 2021 COVID times, I started posting on TikTok. And for me, I had never been exposed to so many gay people, queer people, like a community of people, including the terms like ADHD and autism coming up. Like TikTok is a shit show, but it has been so amazing for like people discovering themselves. Truly, it was so cool back then. Now TikTok is scary to me. I basically just like watch TikTok so I can get my tarot reading. But yeah, it became a place for me to experiment with who I was. And mind you, when I got into my first lesbian relationship, I did anything but be authentic to myself. I really wanted to, I think I maybe wanted to be like my girlfriend. Like I just thought that they were very cool and hot. Good, because they were. Anyway, why am I like saying that right now? I was going to say live on air. And I started to wear beanies and flannels and like I was just like, I look back at everything and I'm like I'm trying so hard in everything I do to figure out why I don't feel like myself. And when I pinpoint it to that specific need, everything just makes sense. So I started experimenting online and I got a following. I got a manager. I was like, oh, I'm gay for a living, because I would mostly post just like LGBTQ plus TikToks. And then, I started to work professionally as an actor, and that was a whole different kettle of fish because actors, let me tell you, all we want to do is people please. So when that is your circle and you're also trying to be this like, find this authentic version of yourself online like I was, it was such a duality because I was like, oh my God, I want to be seen as professional and kind of cool and I want to be accepted in this industry now as an actor. But then I show up online as this person, and honestly, it's not palatable for a lot of people in this industry because I'm political. I say I hate men. And also if you're a man listening and you get offended when I say that, you're probably who I'm talking about, because I have a lot of men in my life who are not offended when I say that. And they're like, yeah, men suck. And I'm like, thank you so much. Like, it's a specific type, you know what I mean? But yeah, so I've been in this, like, these industries where like you're kind of like rewarded for not being yourself. And that has been really, really hard. And I still battle with that very much so. And then I went through a big breakup, and that was like another identity thing. And mind you, like being open to relationships was something that like also opened my world. Like I give a lot of credit to that first like relationship I was in, because they were kind of the first person that I really let see like every version of me. Like I remember it caused probably a lot of friction in our relationship, but I remember, God, like I just thought it was anxiety because I always just labeled everything anxiety. I couldn't move, I couldn't speak. When I would get into these freeze modes where I just could not do anything, executive dysfunction. But for me, like the freeze mode is, it's the worst. And I couldn't answer my partner, like, and it would be constant. And it would be like when my core wounds were triggered. Anyway, but it helped me figure out a lot. After that breakup, I went into therapy, and that is when everything came out. ADHD came up. We delved into it. I started researching the shit out of everything, and I still do to this day. I love like psychology and everything. And also my childhood stuff came up, which was around, I'm not going to go into that right now, but you know, there's some heavy stuff there that the only way I could have survived was through masking and pretending to be good and be okay. So like unlearning a way that has helped you survive is like, makes me emotional, but like it is counterintuitive because it feels really unsafe at the same time. But also because of where I'm at now and the people that are in my life, and they've really encouraged me to like be myself, I'm at this point where I actually can't go back. Like I don't know how to mask sometimes anymore. Like I just don't. And it's gotten to the point like this all started to come up as well when I went through another breakup last year. Ugh, God. One time I caught up with my sister and her friends, and she was like, how are you doing, Em? And I was like, oh, I hadn't seen her for like 2 years. And I was like, oh, I just went through a breakup. And she was like, another one. And that was kind of a punch in the gut, you know what I'm saying? But last year I went through this breakup, and it was kind of the first year that I was like, you know what? I've had a few months like away from this person. I'm going to get into dating because everyone where I live, it's just like a cultural thing people do. They date. I don't really get it because I don't want to spend time with a stranger. It's the small talk aspect of things. Small talk can literally go jump on a plane and jump out of it. You know what I mean? I don't care for it. I don't even know how to do it. Like, it feels exhausting because again, it's me not being myself. And some people argue, oh, it's just part of life. You have to have those conversations. But I disagree. I really, really do. I think you can get to know someone without it being boring. And if that's not going to work, then that's not your person, you know? We all have our people and they're all in our lives for a reason. And sometimes we're just not meant to be. So I started dating, and I would tell my friends, like this one thing specifically came up that okay, here's the thing. My grandpa died. He died. Just letting you know, he's dead. Love you, Pa. I was in hospital with him while he was passing away. This is really heavy. So, Mum, stop listening if you're listening. But we love Pa. He's the one man that I trusted in my life. He was in the hospital dying, and I was sitting next to him, and he kept like, I'm not kidding. Like he kept coming back alive, and me and my mum were like, so is he like dying and coming back? And then the nurse came in and we asked her, and she was like, honestly, like it's because he has a pacemaker. Yeah, I'm not kidding. He was literally coming back alive because of his pacemaker. And I love to tell people, like, I think it's an interesting story. So did I tell people that on a first date? Yeah, I did. And apparently that's not great first date talk. And I can't work out why. So this has kind of sparked this whole journey for me, because I'm like, wow, I don't agree with that. Like, I'm so staunch on like, no, I can tell someone that if I want to, and if they think it's really weird. Okay, different if they're like triggered by it and it's like inappropriate. Like I do usually say like, hey, are you okay if I tell you about my past death? Oh my God, do I say that? No, sometimes I just say I don't have any grandparents, and then that like starts the whole conversation. I just think it's like fun to kind of, I don't know, talk about what's in your head as long as you're being nice, you know what I mean, and coming from a place of love. I'm scrolling through my laptop right now. I'm like, what else do I have to say? Also, I will say that I have been on Ritalin before for my ADHD. That works wonders for me. It really does. I always forget when I'm on it and I'm walking down the street and I'm like, why does my mind feel so calm? Wow, I don't need anything. And then I realize I'm on Ritalin. Anyways, I kind of wanted to get to a place where I could talk about how I started to notice that I was masking and like what I have implemented now to help me let this version of myself kind of come through. It's pretty scary, but yeah. So one thought that comes to my mind is basically like, this is pretty simple, but say like, I was working on a show and I don't have this view of like, how, what, you have a boss, you have a manager, and you're kind of meant to like, you maybe wouldn't say specific things to them that you would say to your colleague that's like, quote unquote, on the same level as you. I don't view things like that. I don't really see a hierarchy of people. And that doesn't always benefit me, let me tell you. Well, actually, I mean, I feel like it benefits me in a way, but maybe what society views as beneficial, they would say, no, it doesn't benefit you. But like, I was working on a show and some stuff came up and I would like approach the people higher up and I would speak to them in a way that I would speak to like my friends. And not saying that that was like rude, but I kind of gave back what they were giving to me. And I think that is absolutely appropriate. Like, it's kind of like that thing of, I'm not going to teach my kids to respect elders just because they're older than them. I think everyone deserves respect. But yeah, people kind of called me out on it. They were like, Emma, I can't believe you said that. Like, what if you got fired? Or like, what if you get a bad reputation for kind of speaking up or out like that? And like, you seem kind of rude. I have gotten that often, like I'll seem bossy or rude. And I think it's also just a case of people not being used to, like, one, women speaking up in a workplace, and also not being afraid that, like, I mean, that is very privileged for me to be like, oh, I'm going to speak up, and I'm a white woman. I don't have this inherent fear that I might lose my job, which I know is a privilege. If I was to lose it, honestly, I'd have to be honest. Like, it's not that I don't care about my work. I love my career. I'm so grateful for the opportunities that I have had. However, I'm a human first, and I stand by what I believe in first. And I also want to inspire other people to do the same. So like, if someone fired me because I spoke up about something that I believed in, I'd be like, see ya. Yeah, that became a big thing for me. The more I'm in like these professional spaces, I would hear people say those specific things to me, and I'm like, oh. So then I attempted to not speak up, and I kind of was like, how does this feel? Like, why wouldn't I do this? Why would I not say what I'm feeling? And then it just started to like tumble over into everything that I'm like, why does this feel so familiar? Like, why does it feel like I've done this before? Like, I'm trying to pretend I don't feel this way, or I'm trying to do this in order to make other people comfortable. And I'm like, oh, it goes back to like childhood, school, high school, social media. Like, I am so good at, well, I have been, I don't even think I'm certainly not good at it now, but I have been so good at being what other people need. And I definitely still do that in some relationships in my life, but I'm very, very aware of it now. And I would say like some stuff that happened along the way that I'm not super proud of, or that didn't make me feel very good, but I think it was a result of me being so looking for this like escape to feel good and to feel seen. I started to like engage in situationships, or like I was very attracted to unavailable people at a certain point. And I'm talking about people, we're being honest here, no judgment, we're unedited versions. I was attracted to people who were in relationships. I've been attracted to like friends' exes before, and that is a pattern for me that I so heavily am working on breaking. Not to say that I have had real feelings for so many of these. Well, okay, there hasn't been so many. There's just been a couple, but like, I've had real feelings for them. But in the end, they made me feel really shit about myself. And I would revert to then alcohol, and these like reckless behaviors with these people were escapes for me. And I know that probably is so cliche, like we all do that. But for me with my ADHD, alcohol, oh my God, It's literally like, it is like an elixir. Like, I'm not kidding. Like, I'll have one sip and people are like, oh, it's a mental thing. No, it's not. I feel that go into my body. I feel my legs tingle and I'm a whole different person and I will do anything. Like, I'm not kidding. I would probably do anything. And that's not good. I don't want to be living in a body and a mind that feels like they need this elixir, like the wizard gives Elphabar's mum, like in order to have a good time. So the way I've been helping myself this year and recently is I have become sober curious, which I'm not saying this in order, like, I just think sometimes if we want to figure out like what's us and what's not, we kind of need to take away the vices. And I've really learned that from some people that have been close to me in the last few years, and I really appreciate those lessons. And yes, I've become sober curious. I have been celibate for a year and a half. I mean, that's 100% by choice. However, I definitely I'm coming back into a period where I'm like ready now, and I, because of some other unresolved, just trauma, it's very easy for me to like avoid intimacy in that way because it's feels like more work to actually engage in it than it is to like avoid it. Okay, I've kissed people. Don't you worry, I've kissed people. But oh my God, I sound like I'm 12 years old. But yeah, it's been great for me to just spend time with myself. And also leaving people, friendships, relationships behind that do not have your best interest at heart, that are not helping you be this like full version of yourself. If you have people in your life who are scared and intimidated by you showing up fully as you just because they don't understand it, it's probably time to let them go. Like, even if they're your family, I'm like, girl, like, we need people around us who are going to uplift us. Life is just like too damn short to, God, like, not let your starry personality out because of dumb people around you. Like, let them figure let them be dull, let them figure out how boring life is when they want to like be small, but like they can't do that to you too. They can't keep you small to make themselves feel that their smallness is okay, I'm sure that they have their own stuff, but don't let it rub off on you, And that's been really hard. I've had to let go of a lot of relationships. But yeah, like, that's kind of my journey right now, and it's led me to here, and I'm so excited to be here with everyone talking about this. And I hope that we can build like a community where we feel free to kind of talk about this kind of stuff. I'm probably like in my most, like, I feel really creative right now, but I'm very hermity just because I have like gone through a lot of friendship changes in the last few months. And I feel that like when I go outside now, I'm struggling to know how to be this version of myself in my apartment living alone in the real world. Like, I want to dance down the street. That's actually my one goal. My goal for the end of this year, I think I'm going to do it, is going to dance down the street. Let's all come up with a goal, like right now. Let's think about it. One little thing that can help us be more of the version we really, really want to be. Mine is going to be dancing down that motherfucking street and not caring about who's like, why do we care? Oh, sorry, Joe John Smith walking down the road sees me. Oh, sorry, Joe John Smith, but I don't know you. So I don't even care if you're looking at me. Like, why do we care? I hate how society has ingrained in us that the more vibrant we are, like, the less confident we should be in that. I don't even know if that makes sense, but like, what the heck? Why are we not singing and dancing down the street? Like, I get that in some countries. Like, my friend the other day was like, oh, if you're in LA dancing down the street, you might get arrested. I'm like, you know what? Fair. So that's where we're at. I think I'm going to end it there. My slate feels kind of wiped clean at the moment, and I don't really know where to go from here, but I think this is the beginning with Don't Say That. And I'm really excited to be, on this journey. Okay, that's all. I'm going to just end it there, and thanks for listening. Let me know on Instagram, if you follow me, what your goal for the end of this year is to like find that little unedited version of yourself just a little bit more. And yeah, thanks. God, I don't know how to end this, so I'm just going to be like, I'll just sing, okay? Don't say that, but say it if you want to. I love you so much, you're my friend. I hated that I did that. Okay, and cut. Thank God.